You see, I'm thinking that you disabling your ratings, as you've done for a while, and screening your comments, for so-called hateful speech or whatever, says a lot about you. It speaks about a certain insecurity that you've been displaying ever since you've shown up on YouTube. It speaks desperately of somebody who really, really wants to be taken seriously, of somebody who desperately wants respect. And it irks the hell out of him that he isn't getting it. So you'll do everything you can to make sure that you get that respect, or that you seemingly get that respect. You're going to screen certain comments, and you're going to make sure that no matter what happens, you're going to look as good as possible. And it's because of a certain superiority complex that you happen to exhibit, where you put yourself out as, you're the ultimate shit. Excuse the expression. I mean, to go into straight up guttural slang stuff for an instance, you basically put yourself out as like, I'm the shit and everything I put out is the shit, and if you don't like it, well, fuck you, there's something wrong with you, I'm the ultimate, look at me, I'm the ultimate Negro, look at me, I'm the ultimate man. That's the way you presented yourself ever since you've shown up. It even shows in that little blurb you put of yourself on your channel, where you basically put yourself out as some kind of great individual just because of small things that, I mean, look at this, in your channel, you are independent world gold medalist. You're married to a woman, a godly, holy marriage. You're like, you put this out in a way that we're supposed to clap our hands for you, And then, of course, you're then pointing out flaws in other people. I find it interesting, by the way, that you changed a certain blurb on your channel. You know that part about sluts? I find it interesting that it's gone now. And I remember that being up since yesterday, and now all of a sudden it's gone. I'm wondering why that's gone. It's a little uncharacteristic of your self-righteous self. But you put yourself out as some type of great one. And then you accuse everybody else of being non-humble and being a bunch of miscreants. And of course you're trying to lump me up as these sort of people. You keep painting me as some type of miscreant. Meanwhile, you go over to my channel. Look at the blurb that I have on mine. Just take a look. Take a look at how I framed my particular channel. You will notice something. That same air of superiority isn't there. In fact, my thing is on the sharing of knowledge and information. It's not on me speaking from on high to you, and that you have to accept my word, and if you don't accept my word, then there's something obviously wrong with you, which is the way you pretty much present yourself online. And then you wonder why you get 1 stars on your videos, which I know bother the hell out of you. I even go so far as to explain that my name isn't a representation of who I am, but what I aspire to be. Once again, trying to speak from a more humble, stance. Because going by the name Sword Sage, I'll admit, makes me sound greater than I am. And that's why I keep trying to say that's what I aspire to be. That's not who I am at the moment. Also, if you notice in a lot of my videos, well, if you ever bother to check my videos, because I really don't think you check my stuff all the way through, especially because of the way you like to present me. I'm this leftist, liberal type person. Oh yeah, really, this leftist person type, liberal type person. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being a liberal, but I also happen to have a video on gun rights where I pretty much state that gun laws are BS. I notice you never really pay too much attention on who you're dealing with. You just paint them as a certain, type of person so you can easier lambast them. But you never actually take a look at the type of person that you're dealing with. And it shows. Because you happen to have this superiority complex going about you as if you're better than everybody else. And yet you then have the nerve to go around acting like you're some type of humble Christian. You're not. And your attempts to present yourself that way fall flat every time. I remember in those last set of videos that, we exchanged months ago, one of the comments that you left behind underneath one of the videos was that you were apologizing for your unchristian-like behavior and that you needed to come from a more humble stance. I distinctly remember that. It's still there. You're saying that, from now on I gotta, come more humble because I wasn't coming humble. I wasn't being humble. Yet, here you are now putting out a video just 3 weeks ago where that humble air is gone. Come on, little man, and me and my people will take you down. Who the fuck do you think you are? Seriously. Seriously. And keep in mind that in that video that I put up where I was trying to talk about, people claiming that I was a liar, I specifically made sure to state in that video that you didn't do what I thought you did. But you still want to bring it to me. That says a lot about you. You can't stand not to be fucking with someone, but you have the nerve to call yourself a humble Christian. Look at the majority of your videos. You're always calling somebody out. This speaks to a very hateful type of individual, and that to me is what's more important right now than, whatever issues we might decide to debate on. It's the fact that you're a rather hateful individual deep down inside. You have problems with other people. And you can try your best to hide that you're not a hateful type of miscreant, but it becomes apparent the more you open your mouth and your interactions with other people. You have a problem with women, you have a problem with gays, you have a problem with liberals, you have a problem with leftists, you have a problem with, any non-religious people, you have a problem with atheists. You always got problems with people. And you're always putting up videos in an antagonistic manner. I don't think I have ever seen a video from you that speaks to a more positive mind. I don't think I've ever seen a video from you where you try to work towards any sort of peace between any 2 or 3 or whatever groups of people. You don't really do a whole lot of harmony building. I don't think I've ever seen anything where you actually try to spread any form of Christian love. All you do pretty much is call people out, call them names, try to make yourself look better, and then congratulate other people for exhibiting bigot behavior towards other groups of people. You constantly look for fights with anyone you can find, and then you wonder why people don't like you. Here's a clue. The reason why people don't like you isn't because you are a righteous Christian. It's because, quite frankly, you're a miscreant. A hateful little miscreant. And it shows. Let's look at Pastor David. He's definitely a Christian with a capital C. He makes sure to put that Christian message in a lot of his videos. And he makes sure that people know that what he is speaking from is from a Christian stance. He is, after all, a minister. But he gets a lot of respect from people, including me. He happens to live, I live near Chicago, and I know he has, his ministry is somewhere in Chicago. One of these days, I'd like to sit into one of his sermons just to see the guy in action. It's not because I want to be a Christian. Don't agree with that religion. I've been raised up in it. Too many damn flaws. I don't want to get into that. It's just, that's the subject for a whole new video. But I know that this is truly a dude of peace and someone who truly wants to spread peace, love, and understanding among many different groups of people. And he truly seems to want to extend respect to other people, whether they agree with him or not. He promotes harmony. You can say the same thing about, let's go for the more famous person, Cornel West. Very famous speaker on black rights, black activism. He also is a Christian. Make sure that people know it. And he speaks about God's love all the time. He gets lots of respect, including from people like me. You don't get the same level of respect because that positive message is not what you're about. And it never has been. You're more about trying to find ways to condemn other people, and then you have the nerve to call it righteousness. But twisting around people's words and effing with the facts does not show any form of righteousness on your part. It is not a characteristic of any righteous, deeply spiritual person. Especially when you start trying your best to separate yourself from the suffering of other people. The homosexual suffering, what they're going through, it's not the same thing as what we black people have gone through. No. You do your best to separate yourself from that. What they're going, it's nowhere near what I'm going through. Meanwhile, truly spiritual people are always talking about how everybody is one, and how one person's suffering reflects upon their own humanity. You find a lot of deeply spiritual people, no matter what religion they are, saying that if this person is suffering, it's the same as if I'm suffering. If this person is going through hell, it's the same as if I'm going through hell. That's why I need to go out and do something about it. That's why I need to try to make this world a better place. That's not what you do. Instead, you're the type of person, oh, if that person's suffering, good for them. Good for them. They deserve it because of who they are. And you give yourself a whole lot of excuses, so that you can feel better about the type of behavior that you exhibit. Oh, it's their lifestyle choice. Even though it's not. But it's easier to call it, what gay people do, a choice, so that you can condemn them for their choice. But deep down inside, we know it's not really the choice that you hate so much. It's them. It's who they are.